Hello, everybody, and welcome to Romancing the Stones Fall Semester Middle School League. My name is Robert, and I'm joined here in the booth with Hockey. How's it going, Hockey?
It's going pretty good.
Exciting, wonderful. So this is week 6 of our league, the end of our Swiss. I can't believe we're already here.
I can. It's felt like a million years. I didn't even play this round. I dropped because I didn't want to play anymore.
It makes me sad because I liked your deck you were playing.
Yeah, well, it's still in the league. It's still in contention.
I hope Tweety, who I'm assuming is the other player playing it.
Yeah. Tweety and I think, are on the 72 card same pile.
Sure. Well, we have Herb Wilson on the left and Kai on the right. I know we've seen Herb on stream, and we have seen Kai on stream before as well. What do you think about this matchup?
So we got Goblins on the left, and Kai's got this insane land tax and Light and Tutor Scroll Rack pile. He's got a bunch of silver bullets. He just Enlightened Tutored for Mox Diamond, which is not a play I expect to see very often. He does have 2 oaths, and he just has this. He has this in his main deck. What a great, what a fun time.
Okay, Kai sending a message. Herb doesn't have a turn 1 play, and it turns into
Herb does have a lot of ways around this. He's got 2 Goblin Kings, and then on top of that, just a number of the Goblins do have 2 toughness, like the War Chiefs. The CGN Commander is not exactly something you're excited about.
No.
At 5 mana, but the Pile Drivers and the War Chiefs and the Kings and the Ringleaders are all still pretty live.
Okay, we see exactly what you're talking about here. We see a Goblin King. So this Engineered Plague is going to help, limit the damage that card, is going to do. But it's consider the plan mitigated a little bit. So
yeah, I mean that's probably the worst card in his deck against a lot of decks, I think.
Yep.
But it's worth it because it's so good here. It's so good against elves, and even in your normal matchups, being able to shoot down some Birds of Paradise or something is relevant. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna play a Matron, and I'm guessing go and get a second Goblin King right here.
That's exactly what we want, I would think. Well, I mean, maybe Recruiter or rather Ringleader.
This isn't Vintage, where Recruiter is a 1-card combo. Yeah, Ringleader is relevant. Oh, he's getting the Tinkerer. Okay, yeah, Tinkerer can kill both of Kai's artifacts without dying, which is, I think, a little greedy here. I think you're supposed to play into get the other king going as soon as possible. But we'll see what else he's got. There it is. Board for 1
ouch.
Mana. And if he doesn't have the other king, I feel like this game's over.
Why didn't he attack with the king?
He didn't. That was just an end step player guy.
Well, I was just wondering why he didn't, I suppose. Oh, is king
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess he could have gotten in there for 1.
Yeah.
That's just a misplay. Well, there you go.
Oh, look at this draw 4.
Yeah.
And 2 of these cards are, I think 2 of those cards actually have text.
One of the interesting things about Herb's deck is he has a single living death.
Oh.
Which is something he's now beaten me with twice.
Oh, wow.
We're in a game state where he has no board presence except lands, no cards in hand, draws it off the top, attack you for 150 damage.
Chad is calling out that this game has been playing for 3 minutes and the game is already wild. I love it. So I invited some of my Pioneer testing friends to watch this because I want them to take a break from a format with bad mana and bad decks to see a format full of bad mana and good decks. And really can see the gameplay is wild. But look at this follow-up with Kai.
I don't think we've seen. It's an archaeological dig, which is actually pretty cool. It's just a colorless land that you can sacrifice it to get a colored mana.
That is actually, we haven't seen that actually.
His land tax plan, right? Get a colored mana for some spell I need and get under your land count. If this humility is in play, I can't imagine Herb has much left to do. I mean, again, he can be looking for that living death, but he has no way to find it. And Goblin Ringleader actually makes it harder to find, right? Like he he can just put it, if he flips it with that, it goes on the bottom of his deck. I'm not sure how Kai's gonna win. I think his only way to deal damage at this point is Curse Scroll.
Well, I mean, if Herb can't deal with this humility, I don't think Kai can lose. Herb has already drawn more cards.
What I'm saying is, if he has, oh yeah, I guess it doesn't matter, right? I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, the kings will get above the humility, but that's just not the case. Yeah, I don't think Herb has any way to deal damage in his deck at this point.
Not to Kai's life total directly. We can incinerate some creatures, but that's it.
I mean, we can cycle Gem Palm Incinerator to do 0 damage to some creatures.
This is also true.
He has no outs. This game is actually just strictly over. I think the reason to stay in the game at this point is to see more of Kai's deck. If I'm Herb, I'm not playing any other cards at this point. Like, he already has a black land in play, so you can play your Cabal Therapies to try to get more information. But
well, all right.
I feel like right now he seems to be
list.
Playing to that Living Death out, but it.
Living Death doesn't get here because of the humility. Yeah, I mean, it's possible we're just going to make Kai have it so that Herb can get more information. We might just be in the information gathering phase, and we're also are on stream, so we want to kind of see kind of what's going on. Are we going to cast that Matron and then just not?
That's what he's doing. I don't, or maybe he's discarding the hand size. It's unclear, but I'm not playing any more cards. Like, if I am discarding hand size, I'm going to discard the goblins that he already knows are in my deck. Wasteland our opponent for no reason. I think that's a misplay too, because if Kai's way of winning is like a man land or something.
Right. Well, I think... relevant. Again, I think Herb is in the information gathering phase. He wants to see a win condition, so he knows what sideboard cards he needs to kind of play around.
Yeah, he's just playing his goblins to the graveyard. I think he thinks that Living Death is still alive.
It's possible. All creatures will come into play and become 1/1s with no text,
no abilities, and die.
And then get -1/-1.
No abilities.
Yeah, that's I'm looking at his list just to see if there's anything. It's all, there are 5 non-creatures in the deck. One of which is Living Death, and the others are Cabal
Ivory
Therapies.
Tower.
Okay, well,
I think it's meaningful. I think it's a good time to scoop here because it sends a message to Kai that you've got like some sort of burn when you don't.
Oh, sure. Make Kai think you've got something.
That's a good way to pick up some percentages and stop wasting your own time.
I think Kai's answers to burn are the very similar answers to goblins. So I don't know how much that helps.
If this were a timed match, I think it's interesting to stay in the game.
Sure.
And like plan on winning game 2, and then there probably isn't enough time for Kai to win game 3, so you're like putting yourself in a draw, but we're not timed, so that's just not in the equation.
So Kai's win con. Chat wants to know what Kai's going to do to win. There is a creature in the deck he can cast. That creature will have 1 power.
Yeah, he has a Sacred Mesa, which makes 1/1s.
He does have a way to make 1/1s.
2 mana. I thought he had Cursed Scrolls, but I think I was looking at Scroll Rack.
Yeah, and we've seen other decks that are similar to Kai's that have Cursed Scrolls. But Curse Scroll and like land taxes sometimes a non-bow.
Yeah, his only ways to win the game here are playing a 1/1 Acroma or a 1/1 Phantom Nishiba and attacking 20 times, or the Sacred Mesa, which again he has 4-line tutor, so you can find
Phantom Nishiba comes into play with 1+1 counters, so it's a lot
Actually,
faster.
it comes into play as a 0/0, thanks to that rules change that happened sometime in the past like 5 years.
Wow, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
It used to be it would come into your as it comes into play abilities would happen, but now those effects look
because I remember that they did that
on the battlefield.
They did that with Blood Moon too, right? And if you play like a Cavern of Souls into a Blood Moon, you don't get to choose a creature type.
Like this is why Dress Down is such an insane Magic card. Like your opponent plays Walking Ballista, and you just play Dress Down, and they just get nothing. Just goes to the graveyard. You draw a card.
Well, Kai's found the win condition.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about him finding it. He had Sterling Grove and play the entire time. He could have gotten, which
this is true.
So like, he does have to sack a Pegasus every turn, but you do have the option of like making that Pegasus in your upkeep and sacrificing it, so that you're always sacrificing a summoning sick one.
Sure.
Yeah, and we'll put 3 plans in our hand. This should hopefully draw the concession. Like, why would you play any more cards?
Chad is pointing out that when we are ready to cast a real creature, we could always seal a cleansing our own humility. Which, honestly, is a bad idea if Kai suspects that there's a living death here, because giving Herb the one chance to living death...
There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to give your opponent that kind of out. Just attack them 20 times with a Phantom Nishiba.
Yeah, I think we're at the graveyard
or not with
pile.
an Acroma, because the Nishiba is a 0/0. But no, the Sacred Mesa is going to get the job done. Kai feels no sense of urgency because he didn't even sack the Sterling Grove to find it.
No. All right, well, we have a lock and a win condition, which are the prerequisites for winning the game here.
Yeah, we'll go to the sideboards here. I'm looking at what Herb has. He has what is this? It's this black-red enchantment that serves as a Goblin Can. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh my goodness.
Basically it. Like he's got Pyrokinesis, Pyroblast, Shattering Pulse. Like none of maybe Shattering Pulse.
This is something Dralna's Crusade.
Dralna's Crusade. I think those are the only things worth coming in. He's got to know that he's probably going to face a bunch of E-Plagues.
Yeah, all goblins get +1/+1. Are black and are zombies in addition to their... So this is great because Kai does suspect red decks in this format, does have a CRP red. But if the goblins are black and not red, then you can't get protection from them.
Does it make them black instead of red?
It says they are black and zombies. So instead of in addition to, it is just they are black. Right. So, yep,
that's fun.
That is kind of a really cool interaction because we do know these decks have these silver bullets.
Like all he's really got to bring in are these Drownless Crusades, and like he can cut his Gem Palm Incinerators.
That's easy.
That's about it. You know, you can bring in the second Sharpshooter just to maybe be able to, like sacrifice a Mog Fanatic and Lightning Bolt his opponent, but
or just like mow down these Pegasus.
Yeah, if that's... I suspect that if we're in a position where guys making Pegasus,
the game's probably
the game
not going well. Sure, that's reasonable.
The Sharpshooter, but no, it doesn't seem great for the little green men.
Certainly not that game. Although having the one of E-Plague in your hand on curve turn 2 is into humility is pretty strong place to be against any creature deck.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kai has a COP red, the second plague, and 2 Pyroclasms.
Wow.
He also has Worm's Chant, which is a somewhat interesting way of...
sure, yeah.
I imagine he has it for like combo decks, but yeah, you can... Oh, you played Living Death? Well, I'm going to Orm's Chant that and then wipe your board. I don't think those are coming in, though. I think
you can also like
he knows
Orm's Chant against control decks, right? Can't cast spells, so then I get to resolve my stuff.
I'm talking about goblins though.
Well, sure. In goblins, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's bringing that COP Red, the E-Plague, and probably a Tormod script. And the cards that are coming out
I could see Pyroclasm coming in.
Oh yeah, and the Pyroclasms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's taking out, like, he doesn't need Replenish.
Now
he doesn't want Armageddon. His one of Armageddon that he can't find.
The other thing too, yeah, we don't want that, but there's also some Oath of Druids hanging out in Kai's deck.
Yeah, those are definitely staying.
Yeah,
of course.
Now, do we board out the Chroma and just leave in the Nishoba? Is that the only creature?
No, I don't think you can afford to do that in middle school in these kinds of decks. Like, he doesn't have. I don't think there's a Guy's Blessing. Oh, there is. There's two of them. Okay, never mind.
This deck is wild, right?
Right. Two Guy's Blessing is just mind-boggling.
It's the appropriate amount.
No, I don't think there's going to be enough cards to come in to take out your second guy. I mean, he's got an Armageddon he doesn't want. He's got an Aura of Silence he's almost certainly doesn't want. He's got a Back to Basics I can't imagine you're excited about.
This deck is I love it. I love Kai's deck. The more I look at it, the more little things I find.
There's a Zer's Weirding, a card that I've been like, wow, I can't believe people don't play Zer's Weirding ever since our first event.
I actually love Zer's Weirding. I used to play that all the time in actual middle school.
The thing about Zer's Weirding is it's a card that you're like, this seems so good. And then you try to put it in your deck and you're like, no, I have to cut this. It doesn't do anything.
Chats wants to know if Kai is wearing his Mox Sapphire necklace.
No, someone actually tried to steal it from him the other day. They broke into his house.
Seriously?
So Kai didn't want to lose that, and so he swallowed it.
Oh, okay.
For him
well, then, yeah. This makes sense.
Yeah.
By all means. It's like the most valuable thing in his house.
They took like all his computers and jewelry and stuff.
Oh, but that's okay. That. Those are replaceable. This Mox Sapphire? Oh, man.
I don't want people to get the wrong idea and think it's a real Mox Sapphire. It's a hunk of plastic that was printed in like 1999. Printed, stamped, injected.
Was that actually manufactured by someone, or was it just custom made as a?
I've seen it before. There's more than one of them. I don't think there's a lot of them.
I mean, I know that there is some like jewelry made. You know, way back when it's like this big, not like.
Yeah. No, the jewelry, I think there's only one copy or something of each because nobody wanted them.
Sure. Interesting. Well, we've got 12 viewers. Hello, 12 viewers. Happy to have you here. Invite your friends. Well, our players are going to finish sideboarding here. They're going to shuffle up. We'll see if anyone takes a mulligan here.
It just has... so the thing about goblins is what you're afraid of is this like early goblin lackey, turn 1 lackey, turn 2, like attack you, put something into play. It's actually like really hard for them to have that hand.
Yeah.
It's very easy for them to not really have anything that's super exciting to put into play. And especially if your deck is able to generate a blocker like that, now they've got a 3-card combo of like thing to put into play, a lackey, and the incinerator and mana.
Sure.
Like my experience is the danger of the lackey is a bit overblown. What you're really concerned about is what's happening on turn 3 and getting ground out in the late game, because Goblins just has that, like they chain ringleaders and matrons together.
So Chad is asking if Goblin Grenade is legal in this format.
Goblin Grenade's legal. It's just not playable. I think Goblin Grenade probably is playable, but it's really hard to justify putting a card like that in your deck, right? Like it's a pretty niche board scenario where you have a goblin you don't mind sacrificing to a card that could potentially get countered.
Yeah, getting countered would be the worst case scenario. 2 for 1 yourself there. But it does give some reach, which sometimes the goblin deck
5 damage.
Yeah, for 1 mana, it's real.
Can it only go face or can it hit creatures?
Ooh. It's been too long since I've cast Goblin Grenade. Let me look it up.
Magic didn't really see people playing Goblin Grenade until they printed the Echo Goblin that makes a token when it comes into play and when it dies in like Time Spiral.
Yep.
Then all
Goblin
of a sudden
Grenade,
people were like, give me that 6th edition common that I've used as a coaster before.
There's the Urza's Destiny. Destiny? I think it's Destiny. Goblin that comes into play and makes like 3/1/1s and has Echo. So when it comes into play or dies,
the card that costs, how much mana does it cost?
6 mana.
Okay.
But then you can Goblin Grenade it.
I'm insulted that you mentioned it. Why waste our time? 6 mana?
Because I actually would cast that in middle school so I can Goblin Grenade it.
Get to 6 mana.
Because I would actually cast that in middle school. That's why.
If you put a 6-drop like that in your deck, you are going to draw it in your opening hand every game.
Oh, I didn't know how to play Magic in middle school. I put everything in my deck. The best deck ever was 5-color dragons, and I could never lose except for every time I did.
Because he's got like 45 unique cards.
So chat is pointing out the Goblin Grenade is 5 damage to any target. So you can hit Planeswalkers with a Goblin Grenade. So just think of that Vorthos right there. Take a Goblin, turn it into a grenade, throw it at a Planeswalker. Boom, goes the Planeswalker. Chad is also pointing out that Reckless Sly could easily play a Goblin Grenade as an extra source of just kind of, kind of a better.
I don't think we can say that
Reckless Abandon
can easily play Goblin Grenade.
Well, okay, so like the deck plays a lot of 1-mana goblins. It plays the.
Yeah, but it wants to hit you with those goblins, right? Like.
Well, it wants to hit you up until the point that it can't. Then it wants to throw them at you. Yeah. So maybe instead of Reckless Abandon...
The issue is just, it's the same issue. Like a card like that, you're always going to have games that you lost because you drew it where Lightning Bolt would have won, but you didn't have a Goblin in play. Like,
this is true. Well, but you're not playing it instead of Lightning Bolt. You're playing Lightning Bolt in that deck.
You're playing it instead of something.
So in this case, it's competing in Reckless Slide, be competing with Reckless Abandon. So... you won't be able to sacrifice your Jackal Pups, but you'll get 1 more damage.
But Reckless Abandon deals 6 damage.
Reckless Abandon deals 4.
Is it +2, +0?
No, it's a 1-mana sacrifice a creature, deal 4 damage to the face.
I've never heard of this Magic card in my life.
All right. Reckless Abandon is a sorcery for 1 red. As additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Reckless Abandon deals 4 damage to any target. It is from Urza's Destiny.
You could just play Incinerate.
You can, and sometimes the deck does.
You can just play Volcanic Hammer.
The whole point is you can play less land, play a lot more 1-drops, and just Zerg Rush. It is all in on the Zerg Rush, and as soon as you can't get in on the ground, you just throw your dudes.
I get it, but what if the reason you can't get on the ground is someone casts Pyroclasm?
Then
they're at 3,
nothing.
And you draw 3 Reckless Abandons in a row.
No, that has happened.
A Goblin Grenade. Like, you're going to quit Magic forever. Just put cards that do things all the time in your deck.
The additional cost is not free, Hockey. This is true. This is not wrong.
Like, Diabolic Intent is legal in this format. And even then, people are playing like 1. And that's a much better effect than 5 damage, I think.
5 damage is a lot.
It's a lot. But I mean, with Diabolic Intent, you could be anything. You could even get a card that does 5 damage.
What, are you going to get a card that does 5 damage for 1 mana? You've already invested like 2 mana in this spell now.
I mean, Diabolic Intent for Goblin Grenade.
Oh,
there could be anything behind the mystery door, even a free card.
All right, well, back to actual Magic. Kai's going to open with a Plains and pass, and Herb is going to start off by taking 1 and casting Cabal Therapy. Already
play the Cabal Therapy
better off.
That we drew off the top. Names Enlightened Tutor finds
Oregon's still the deck.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's a land tax. He didn't play land tax on 1?
He planned to Enlightened Tutor, I assume, and then just and then just got gut.
Yeah, I guess if he plays Enlightened Tutor. I don't know. He can look for. I don't see the line. I don't see what he's getting with Enlightened Tutor.
CP red.
Seems terrible. You don't want to draw that on turn 2. You want to draw that on turn 7 when you've got a bunch of lands and you're at like 5.
Sure.
Like the only thing I think he'd really want here is to start getting the E-Plagues, but E-tutoring for it prevents him from being able to cast it. I guess he just wants his opponent to play another land, but if your Goblin's opponent just doesn't play a land after you play a land tax, like
then you're fine. Yeah.
I'm sorry. In Armageddon is still in his deck?
Yeah, Armageddon's still in the deck.
If that's correct, I don't know how to play Magic.
Well, clearly neither of us know how to play Magic hockey. Because Kai is showing us.
Team Series Invitational in the vintage portion. Kai and I were playing the same deck, and it was my list. Like I gave him the list, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to play this." And then I watched him play it, and he did a bunch of things that I had like never thought to do. And like every time he did it, he won the game because of that decision.
Well,
what a master!
Herb is showing us that we at least know how to play Goblins. He brought in the Crusades. Yes. They're on the battlefield, so when he decides to deploy, he can go in there. Now Kai's going to be able to start gaining some life here, so we don't have all day. I think Herb's path to victory here is maybe get a few more land into play and then drop a War Chief and a few discounted Goblins and then just try to race whatever we're going to oath up here.
I don't know. I think you're just playing lands so that you can attack your opponent for like 1,000 damage with a War Chief and a couple of pile drivers and stuff.
I think that's where we are too. I think if we can have the right
18
complement of Goblins, if we can have the right complement of Goblins in hand, we can still beat this Ivory Tower. But if we're not careful,
and the Ivory Tower is, I don't think it's that significant. Like Goblins is generally not hitting you for exactsies. Like if things are going right, they're hitting you for literally double your life total. I think what we're more concerned about is being able to assemble enough stuff before this Armageddon just turns out to be the best card Kai could have drawn.
Well, yeah, that and it's one land away from that.
I suspect we're seeing it next turn. Yeah, chat's saying he should be at 18, and that's exactly correct. We don't control their life totals, they do. Oh, here we go. We got a 2/2 Mog Fanatic.
Cool. I talked to them. They got it fixed.
What's the plan here? What's our plan with this Mog? Surely there's more Goblins coming.
I think Herb was really just on the play.
I'm sorry. Chief. This is our play.
I mean,
deal 1 damage to you. Is his hand full? Like that's. I don't think so.
Maybe we're just like not wanting to play another land into this Armageddon, but like we can't afford.
Yeah.
This is such a weird spot, right? Engineered Plague.
Engineered Plague.
That came in.
Yeah, that's not correct. That's wrong.
Yeah, but I guess we're gonna assume that Pegasus is the name. So Kai has lost.
That is a what's the classic article? A misapplication of role. Like Herb, you have a beatdown.
Sure.
You do not need that in your deck. I think that card is sketchy in Goblins at all.
Well, so like, I mean, there's elves. That might be like a real thing where you want to race.
4 Pyrokinesis.
Well, okay, that's why you play Pyrokinesis. That's fair
card?
Too. So we've seen decks play the Mesa Pegasus as a combo outlet to just dump infinite mana and make infinite dudes. So it's possible
Sure.
Herb thinks that that's what's happening, and has decided to turn off the combo.
I mean, you've just got to trust in your other cards, man. You've got Cabal Therapy.
Hey, Hockey, you got your wish.
All right, I don't. The Zer's weirding is still in play, like still in the deck.
It is.
Did he just not sideboard? Was he just like?
But now we get
meh?
to see what's happening. We get to see what is going on.
One of the main reasons I have not tried to play Zer's weirding in a deck is on webcam. Like, what a nightmare.
Yes.
What's happening?
I think that's his hand.
I don't understand why we get to see it. Zer's weirding just reveals the top of your decks, I believe.
It also reveals their hands.
Look the card up.
So each players play with their hands revealed. If a player would draw a card, they reveal it instead. Then any other player may pay 2 life. If the player does, that player puts the card into his owner's graveyard.
See, like, this card maximizes the amount of time that it takes up to make that decision. Like, if you just played at the top of your deck reveal, then your opponent could be thinking about it, you know, making the decision on whether to let you have it ahead of time. Like, I guess it makes the card a little bit more powerful in a way because you can see it earlier, but
yeah, I mean, if you have the foresight to know what's coming up, then you can play around that pretty easily, or like cycle through your deck.
I mean, this is a lock here. We have an Ivory Tower and a Zer's weirding. You don't get to draw any more cards.
Well, we do show that we have the land. So if we have, we know that there is a Sword Supplier show, which is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Because we can't give all of our creatures haste. So,
I mean, if he casts this Armageddon, it's like literally over, right? You basically have to like do enough stuff to get through this Oath of Druids with the goblins you have on your hand that gets it to a position where you are forcing him to either play his cards or something, because you can stop him from drawing cards.
Yeah, I think we're now entering Lantern Control, right? Territory where we have, you're right, the Ivory Tower and Zer's weirding. Herb's not drawing anything relevant ever again.
I mean, he's not actually gaining life now in this position.
He's still at 25. He's got life to spare.
Right. But if he's not gaining life, yeah, I guess they could both play you don't draw back and forth. And
all he has to do is Enlighten Tutor for another land tax, right? And then we're gaining life.
Kai doesn't have a dog. He's famously allergic. That was just, he just plays like, he's got a boombox from like the 80s that he just plays bark sounds to tilt you. Yeah,
Kai
he was
barking
off camera.
Yep.
The part I was lying about was the boombox. Does Scrollrack say draw, or does it just say put those cards in your hand?
This is a really interesting kind of thing, right? I agree. I like Zer's weirding quite a bit.
You put that many cards from your top of your library into your hand. You don't draw them.
And chat putting out Scrollrack. We'll get around this.
There's no way I would have let my opponent have a Worm's Chant. Like, my out here is to
attack. I know.
Puke my guys onto the table.
Yeah. I absolutely would have done that. All right, so we're porting in the upkeep to at least stop the Armageddon.
Yeah, I mean, the Oath is a huge issue. But like, if you can play a bunch of goblins and just, do a crap ton of damage to your opponent, a lot of the things that they could reveal off Oath just are irrelevant. And even if they reveal like a Nishiba, you can get your next attack and incinerate your own guy. The Nishiba doesn't gain any life.
Yep.
But every turn that passes, like Kai is just further and further ahead. And I think now that he has 6 cards in hand, the game is actually over. Herb has no way of drawing 2 cards in a turn, and Kai can just pay every turn to prevent him from drawing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I'm playing this Enlightened Tutor. I'm just standing here.
Yeah, the hard lock is, well, the Enlightened Tutor just, you don't get to draw that unless you activate the scroll rack.
I mean, yeah, like how cute is that, right? Like you can go get it, and even though you've got a card in play that stops you from, let your opponent decide if you can draw something, you just get to do it anyway. Like that's just rude.
Yeah, this is this is closest analog I can think of is like Lantern Control, where you just get to control the top of the library and decide what people draw.
Rob, you're the only person in America who's played Modern. Most of us don't know what that is.
Modern is the best supported format at the moment.
Yeah, it's not hard to support a format that only 3 people play. Just you, Travis, and like some guy who comes and gets wrecked.
I saying that I play Modern is a very strong phrase. No,
it's not. You didn't come to our event because you were like, I gotta play Modern.
Oh no, I didn't come to the event because I have to play Pioneer, which is a terrible format that nobody should play unless you're playing for actual money, which unfortunately I am, so I'm playing Pioneer.
Yeah, this game is just over. There's not much to talk about. How are you guys
doing? There isn't anything to talk about. I mean,
good food lately.
Jew Boys opened up a Slider trailer, not too far from Hotel Vegas.
Yeah, I think you should definitely clarify that Jew Boys is a chain.
Jew Boys is a restaurant. And yes, it is a.
The name is.
See, I had an aversion to it for a little bit. Yep. So right next to Violet Crown, I believe, not too far from Hotel Vegas, there's a Jew Boys Slider trailer. It's right in front of Violet Crown, Mr. Tweedy. Yeah, it is.
So I'm looking at the deck list for our next match because this one's over. We've got mono blue Stilfenaught. And it looks.
Hey, our opponents don't necessarily know who's playing what. Well, I guess now they do.
Oh yeah, no.
They're watching. I know they're watching.
Tell the other one now.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
The other one is it's white guys, just the fun police coming
awesome.
in, attacking you.
Fun police versus blue decks. I'm here for. Yeah, I think this match, like, realistically, Herb's not drawing any more cards.
Yeah, I mean, Kai at some point has to kill his opponent, but like, he has an answer for everything. He has a Steel Cleansing in play for your Plague. He can scroll rack a card that he wants to the top of his deck.
Yep. We have the land tax now, so now we're getting enough cards that scroll rack works. Yeah, because Herb only has so much life to like stop draws. I really do think this is over. We've got 2 Sword of Plowshares.
We can get to a point where we can just cast our Chroma too off the top. Like,
we're close. We have 7 sources, 8 sources total. So yeah, we have enough. We just play the land sources in our hand. Which we can do. I mean, Kai's already at 30, right? Like, the ability for Herb to deal 30 damage in 1 turn is not happening, especially when we have perfect information. So I love a card like Zer's Weirding for coverage because look at this. You know, we get to see everything, which is great. We all have perfect information. Everybody's a winner. Chat pointing out that
I'm demoralized watching this.
Hey,
I can't believe Herb's still playing.
The win condition is milling Kai.
He can't mill him.
Why not? Kai has actually removed more cards out of his deck than Herb has.
Zer's Weirding says, "Oh, it's any other player. It's not any player."
Yeah, he can't pay life to not. Yeah, if he could pay life to like not draw his own card, then yes, he couldn't mill himself. But he has.
I mean, he's got
pulled out enough cards
and a replenish in his deck.
Oh no, you know he's not going to mill out because he can just keep cycling Gia's blessings. Oh no. Yeah, so we can't. Secret mill plan is secretly not actually possible because Kai does have 2 Gia's blessings that we can just
every
cycle.
Magic deck that exists. You list your like win conditions. Like, this is my primary win condition. I've got like, big goblins. My secondary one is like just pinging in there. But the third, every Magic deck has. Well, maybe we'll just mill them. Like, maybe.
Yep. It's true. First you play to win. If you can't do that, then you play not to lose.
Or was pointing out that Scroll Rack, a broken Magic card, stops you from milling out. Because you set one side a card, draw it, and put no cards from your deck into your hand, and then put that card back.
Okay. Well,
how annoying! What an annoying Magic.
Well, fine. All right. Does Herb get to draw this goblin? No.
I don't know what you guys. Because I'm not smart enough to play Scroll Rack. I could manage Sensi's Divine Top, but Scroll Rack.
Chat saying we should add a grindstone next league. Yeah, go for it.
I feel like the Scroll Rack player is still just going to outsmart you. Your grindstone is just going to say like pay 3. Let your opponent scry 2. Like, it's not going to go well.
Now I will say, right, this is the last week of the league, so our players are playing for the ability to top 8. So Herb does still have some skin in the game to keep playing. Now these are 2/2s. He's playing 2/2 goblins because of our crusade. So they are 1/1s that get
I'm going to put a
+1/+1.
Freaking Phantom Ishba or something into play.
We are going to
shuffle Oath. Graveyard.
CP Red did make the cut. So did Pyroclasm. Curse Totem.
This is a red orb.
Zorn Orb is good.
Both of the Orbs chance in.
Neshoba comes into play and dies.
All right.
Right? Yes, it should.
Oh, there's a humility? Yeah. I feel like they might get that wrong.
If enters the battlefield, it should just be dead.
Oh,
I'm gonna chat with them.
Let's tell the players. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's not a 0/0 because humility sets its power and toughness. But
yeah, it's a 1/1, but it should have no counters. So I just told them to go look it up and make sure.
There's nothing. I looking it up seems like a nightmare. I've done the experiments with Dress Down. It does not get counters.
They're going to double check because that may dictate, what Kai is playing towards.
Yeah, it used to be the other way around. The ruling that was changed was it used to be that cards didn't check what they would look like on the battlefield as they come to play abilities.
I'm having a chat with our players. We just want to make sure that this works, so that way we can have the most competitive game we can have. We do like to get the rules right when possible.
Yeah, I'm concerned that wherever they're looking up the rules, it'll be an old ruling. For someone who's been playing Dress Down multiple times a week, this is definitely how it works. Rob, you play Pioneer. You should know how this works, right? Is Dress Down Pioneer?
Dress Down is not. It is modern only. So we're looking up layers, and let's see.
I'm not even sure if it's like a layers rule.
Well, because counters get applied in a certain layer. Well, the ability that gives the counters happens at a particular spot that is affected by layers. So we're just trying to figure out where and when those things happen.
Well, what changed is like what zones are relevant.
Oh, sure.
And it used to be like all of that stuff applied before it went to the new zone, but that's not the case anymore. Now it looks ahead of like, what am I going to be in this zone? So the land trick, the man land trick still works. You can make your Mishra's Factory into a 2/2.
So I found some on the internet, so take it with a grain of salt, chat, that pre-modern, some people have had the same questions, because this actually comes up in pre-modern, which is the sister format to middle school. And in it, they say exactly what Hockey is saying, that comes into play as a 1/1. So our players are going to just kind of get this sorted out here real quick, and then play will resume here shortly, I believe. There we go. We do Oath. Oath does resolve. We get a lovely phantom cat as a 1/1, which is smaller than our 2/2 nobility goblins.
Do need to shuffle here. Hope they haven't forgotten about that.
Is there shuffle? Why is there shuffle?
He flipped a cradle. Or not a cradle, a blessing.
Oh,
it looks like he already did it.
Okay.
In the 10 minutes they had to resolve that card.
They did. Into play. Cool. All right.
I put my whole hand on top of my deck.
As chat has pointed out, we have taken a humility break. now that we are done.
I'm glad that they can change rules every couple of years so that we can still do this. Like, we can all learn how humility works, and then like a couple of years later, we're all very sure, like, no, it's not what happens, and then we're all wrong. Like, that happens literally every 2 or 3 years. They change something.
Well, and the other thing that's weird too is, especially with the format like middle school, where we were playing with older cards that back then had slightly different interactions based on the nuance of the rules, like we see here, and now we're playing a modern rule set to cards printed not quite with these rules in mind. So little weird things happen like this.
I think one of the questions that's interesting is, did Kai keep an Akroma in his deck? Oath is a May. You don't have to do it.
Well, Kai has decided that we're going to go on the aggressive game plan and play our Engineered Plague, seal a cleansing the Crusade here, and then just get on the beatdown plan. Our opponent's at 9, so we've got 9 turns to swing with this Nashoba. Herb's got 8 turns to find, presumably, his other E-Plague.
He has 2 life a turn. He's got a Zer's Weirding. You don't get to draw any cards. Can you beat me with the mountain in your hand? Like,
this is true. This is true. Herb does not have any more cards to draw.
No, there's no point in letting him have anything. Just no, you can't have anything. It's not about like making the ideal play. It's about sending a message. You don't get to have any cards ever again. Like, you can't play Magic anymore. I'm gonna attack you for 1. I'm not even gonna like put this Akroma into play. I'm just gonna attack you for 1. I don't know what's happening. Herb keeps like flipping up 2 cards, and I don't understand why. Great. It feels very disgusting. Him randomly having like an Armageddon and a Replenish, I think is hilarious. The Armageddon seems bad. But I guess the thought there is like, it's good against the kinds of decks that your deck isn't like pre-boarded against.
Wow. Yeah. It's kind of wild, right? You know, just a lot of these cards are kind of innocuous in and of themselves. You can see how they'd be individually good against, you know, some of the other random decks in the format. But I think just against this kind of creature deck, all those cards are strangely relevant in applying the right kind of pressure and just making sure Herb didn't have any way out of this.
What did he take out? All the cards I thought he would take out were all still in.
I wish I knew. I wish I could tell you what he took out. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, the Aura Silence, the Back to Basics, I'm sure those are gone, but I don't know. That will be very interesting to find out. But
in other news, play Dress Down. Play Dress Down in every format. It's so good. It's so good.
Yes.
Play Dress Down in Legacy in your opponent's end step, and then untap and cast an Uro for 3 mana.
That is a very good thing to do.
Play Dress Down in Vintage to blank your opponent's Hullbreacher and destroy all their constructs. Play it in Modern to erase the text on some card because you don't have enough time to read it and finish your match. And play it in Pioneer. Fuck it. People play that format. They don't know it's not legal. Who knows?
They'd be like, why? No, they would figure it out because they'd be like, why aren't I playing this really good card? And then they'd figure out that.
And you tell them, like, you suck. That's why you make bad decisions.
I'm gonna try that and see how far it gets me. I'll let you know.
Yeah. I've always thought it'd be absolutely hilarious to play a deck that's just like definitely not legal, like a legacy deck with like 9 brainstorms in it, and just like crush your opponent and then concede to them every round.
See, here's the best thing about playing 9 brainstorms is when you draw the extra brainstorms, you can just put them back, shuffle them away, and you never reveal that.
Yeah, he has brainstorm all the time, and I just love the idea of like you play like the 6th one and see if your opponent notices. Like, wait a minute.
Like, they all have to have mismatching art. Give your opponent a chance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no. There's only one art for brainstorm, and it's not the Ice Age art. You heathens.
I do agree with that. I do agree. It's Mercedes Masks.
I actually think some of the new ones are pretty great, and I don't like that. I think that like I don't like that they come out with like new treatments for cards, and I'm like, oh,
I like the Mystical Archive Japanese art.
Yeah, I think like all the Mystical Archives for like every card are gorgeous. Is gorgeous.
Yep.
Except for the weird Faithless Looting art. I don't know if that's a Mystical Archive, but
that is a Mystical Archive.
That is hideous. It looks like I drew it. It looks like someone was learning Photoshop for the first time.
It's certainly different than what we're used to.
And it's different. I've got one if anyone wants to buy it off me.
Well, that's going to do it for our first match of the night. We are going to go ahead and get our players ready for a second match. Now, I will preface this. We are going to work with a few technical limitations to try to get one of our players on stream to play for their win on end. So give us a little bit more time than we normally take in our intermission to get everything all squared away. There is a chance greater than 0 we may not have a second match, depending on if we can overcome some of those challenges, but I think we'll be in good shape.
Oh boy.
So yes, as Chad has pointed out, the music is coming. Get ready, here it comes. We'll be back as soon as we can with another round of Magic. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to match 2 of Romancing the Stones Fall Semester Middle School League. My name is Robert, and I'm joined here in the booth by Hockey. How's it going, Hockey?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited for a new match after that grueling grind we just saw.
Yes. So if you were here for the last match, you saw Goblins get prisoned out very quickly by a number of different enchantments. And this matchup should be very different than that. As Hockey mentioned earlier, we have a deck full of blue cards versus a deck full of white cards. So we'll see what happens here. One of these is Stilfenaught. Stilfenaught does have the ability to win quickly. But the other deck has...
too.
Mono
blue Stilfenaught.
Mono blue Stilfenaught, yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Kind of a more classic build, I would say.
He is packing some Sea Drakes as well, which is not a card to be tried.
He is packing Sea Drakes. Well, we have definitely seen Sea Drake be a powerhouse in this league before. Previous leagues to 2 top 8s, piloted by Andrew. But Philip is going
to be interesting.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like Philip is going to be missing land drops here. We do not have live totals this round due to some technical limitations by our players.
Guys,
so we're
you
going to do
can't
our best to keep track of them.
A one-lander in middle school. You can't.
No, not even with red. I don't even think you can. Oh, snap. Look at this. Okay, so...
Okay. Play your guy. Hope you don't have a daze or a force of will.
And we did have a daze. All right, well...
There's no reason to do it there, I don't think. I guess it phases out until his next upkeep, so he is kind of...
if we draw a land here, though, how bad will that feel? Nope, no land. All right, well, at least we don't get super punished. We're just punished by the one lander, but...
I mean, he does have more plows and disenchants.
But yes, he does. So we have a lot of main deck answers to this card. We just need to draw a land to get there.
He's playing white leaning, but his curve isn't as low as I think he was thinking it is. He has a ton of 2-drops. He's got 4 Empyrial Armor. That's a 3-drop. He's got Sultari Visionary. That's a 3-drop. He's got Cataclysm, which is and Worship. Cataclysm seems very, very bad in this matchup.
Yes, I would not keep Cataclysm in my main deck at all. All right, so Phil's got this turn to find an answer to this 12-12. And he does not have it. All right, so we're gonna have a very fast game 1 here. All right, so lessons from that are we need to have at least more than one land.
Yeah, you gotta have a functional hand.
Yeah. I think the ability to have days backup is pretty powerful for this deck, for the Stilfenaught deck.
It's hard. I mean, you look at your hand, you're like, well, if I got some plays on 1/1. If I draw a land, be good to go. But
sure,
the joke with middle school is 2 lands isn't enough either. Like you need to be getting to 4 lands in your games. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Having almost played, even like playing red decks, like I always want 3 land. I always want 3 land.
I think the only deck that could even consider keeping a 1-lander is Elves, and even then, I think
one stir removal spell could spell disaster. So let's look at our sideboards here. Phil's deck already has quite a bit in the main deck for this. We have another Sword of Plowshares that we can bring in so that we can go up to 4. I think that comes in. We've got a Sultari Priest, which definitely feels like a strong inclusion. If we can get that activated and deployed.
I think that only hits enchantments, right?
Does it only hit enchantments? Oh man,
I don't think that
balanced?
card has any text. But he's got 4th Plow. He's got the 5th Plow in Spirit Link and a Seal of Cleansing and an Aura of Silence, and I believe Paria. That also does.
Sorry, it's a Soltari Visionary, not a priest, and it is only an enchantment because that's how these cards were templated back then. So I got it half right. I knew it did something. So yeah, that card is no text.
6 removal spells he could bring in if he wants. And he's also got Abeyance, which I think is reasonable here. The flip side is like, how many cards does he have to take out?
I think these are
pretty bad. Not Eternal Witness.
The Soul Wardens.
Soul Warden.
Soul Warden doesn't seem that great. Also, these Empyrial armors don't seem to be needed.
I mean, the Cataclysms definitely come out. I think you cut the worships. Like, you've got to beat down. So I think you need Empyrial armor.
Well, if you have all these removal spells, you only need to deal with four Dreadnoughts, and then your opponent doesn't have any more win conditions. I guess there's these Siege Rakes. Yeah, I mean, I guess Imperial armor could. You just need a ham sandwich and something to put that on. Or what are these? These are bananas, right? You need a banana.
Imperial armor is a ham sandwich.
Imperial armor is the ham sandwich, but you need a banana to put the ham sandwich on. Yeah.
The banana ham sandwich dichotomy sort of breaks down with the deck like a white weenie, where everything's like an ingredient in the ham sandwich.
Okay, fair. I'm on board. Sure. These are all ingredients for a ham. So is this just ham sandwich.deck?
No, that would be like tap out control.
Okay, so then this is more like a charcuterie board where you just have a bunch of little things that make the whole thing.
Charcuterie.deck. No, okay. I mean, generally that dichotomy is more for describing like control decks.
Sure.
There we go. Seal of Cleansing. Let's fight. Are you going to daze this? That's brutal. He did keep this Soul Warden, which just seems awful. Like, I think the Soul Warden seems bad.
In his deck. Maybe you just decide you wanted a bunch of 1-drops. Because your 2-drop slot is overstimulated? I don't know.
I mean, he's not playing Savannah Lions.
This is true. We are not playing Savannah Lions.
Soul Warden made the cut, but Savannah Lions was not a good enough.
Nomads in Car also made the cut, and that is also...
That card's reasonable. I mean, if you know how banding works, it's like the same thing. I think maybe the fact that Savannah Lions was hard to come by in a black border may have entered somewhat into his considerations.
So Imperial Armor is going to come to play on this 1-drop, which makes this curve very reasonable to keep the Soul Warden in. And Soul Warden's going to get +1/+1 for each card in Phil's hand. Which means Phil doesn't really have to do too much here.
Attack you for 1,000 damage. It does. I don't know how many cards he's got, but I think we just took 5.
Yes, we did just take 5. So we've got 4 cards in hand, 3 cards in hand. Okay, so we've got 3 cards in hand. We've attacked for 1, and then we just attacked for 4. So the pressure is on for Shet here. I'm looking in this blue deck. I don't see anything in here that answers this once it's hit the field.
Yeah, you know how earlier I was talking about you shouldn't keep a hand with one land in it. You also shouldn't play mono blue in any format at any point in history.
It used to be mono blue control used to be the shit. Good. Used to be real good. We're gonna stifle this. Wow, we just stifled the Seal of Cleansing.
I'm not sure he wins the race at this point, though. Like, I attack you for 5. Oh no, this guy doesn't have Shadow.
No, he doesn't have Shadow.
Oh my god!
But we have Sword to Plowshares.
Oh, it's Plow. It's Plow. I was like, I thought he Spirit Linked his own guy. I'm like, no.
Which we have removal. We have Counter Spell. We have Force of Will. All right. We're gonna tap out for a Seal. No, we're gonna tap out for a Knight.
Silver Knight.
All this just shrinks the Soul Warden. We've got 1 card in hand. We do gain a life, so there's that. If we've gained 2 life off of Soul Warden, so if
it's
we
not
could gain
nothing. Like
we can gain 3 more, then we have to attack 3 times.
Like that's not nothing. It does have trample.
It does.
Man, and what if it didn't have trample?
Oh,
then we wouldn't have to put up with these stupid decks that people keep putting.
No, then I don't know if it would even be playable. All right, so we're gonna block. It looks like.
No, we're gonna learn it has trample.
Well, that's fine. We're at 12. All we need to do is play another creature, and we still have like an extra turn. So we have some live draws, right? We have either removal spell or creature buys us a turn. Okay, that's gonna buy us a turn. That'll bring us to 13.
Oh my god, if these stupid Soul Wardens win this game.
Oh, look at that, gain 2 life. I mean, we're not gaining another 10 life, so I don't think the additional life from the second Soul Warden matters.
I mean, we forgot to attack before we played that, so we just.
I know, and that's the dagger. That is the real dagger.
His opponent could be at 10. There could be a chance at winning, but no.
Trigger. Where is Norn the Wary? Yep, no kidding.
I think missing that 2 damage is costing us.
Our match 2 may be over real quickly here. Let's see if we can. We're going to attack beforehand. We're not interested in blocking. This is true.
We're at exactly 12.
Now look at Chet. Chet's hand has had an answer for 3 removal spells. So.
Oh my god! Why didn't you cast it on your turn? On your upkeep? On his upkeep?
We're gonna tap out and show we have 2 planes. That's gonna do it real fast. Chet's gonna win this one 2-0 in very quick fashion. But game 2 was much closer than game 1. It could have very easily gone Phil's way. Definitely not the way Phil drew that up. He had the perfect game 2, honestly. 3 answers that were all answered in time.
I do wonder if he's actually in a position to win that race if he ekes out every point of damage that he could have throughout the game.
All right, so let's just think about this. If he...
Like his opponent ends the game at what? 9? 10?
6, it looks like.
If you're in a position where he's at, and Phil is at 12, so if he had not missed those 2 points of damage, and then there he keeps 1 guy back, I think he wins the race.
Well, those 2 guys also gained life, so he didn't even need to keep any of them back. So he missed on 2 points.
He didn't have any guy to play to get him above 12, so he has to block with 1 guy.
Sure.
But he missed like a point of damage earlier too.
Well, if he attacks before playing his 2 creatures, he still gains 2 life or 3 life when he plays them because he still has a Soul Warden in play. He just plays them second main. I think he can still deploy them.
After playing all of his cards, he was at 12. He has to.
All right. Well,
but I still think like he missed so much damage during that game that I think there could have been a position where Chet can't attack.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I didn't know how many cards were in his hand at various stages.
Yeah, plus it's interesting though. I mean, but think of like the draw from Chet's hand, right? He had a second Stifle for exactly Seal. He had the counter spell for swords. And the other swords, right? We had 2 swords that got countered?
I think so.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, compared to also like the 2-card combo you have to have in your hand, like you can't have a better hand. That was running as hot as you get.
Right. And that's another thing. It's like, is he still able to counter all those things if Phil takes 12 once and then casts them? So you can cast them all in 1 turn.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, we're gonna have to find out. So I believe definitely Chet now makes top 8. Depending on the way tiebreakers are, Phil may still make top 8. I don't know the exact records of these players off the top of my head. So suppose I can look it up real quick, because I do have them pulled up here. These players should both have one loss, I think, maybe two. They are not the top. These are our top fifth and sixth player, so they definitely have good records. It's very possible one of them still squeaks into top 8 based off of tiebreakers. And if you've watched any of our previous leagues or participated, you know that we will do a top 8 conclusion stream, but we do play the quarterfinals off camera, and then we play the semis and the final on camera.
All at once.
All at once. Yes. All at once. So we will do 3 rounds of Magic, 3 games of Magic that night to give you a winner. Typically, we would aim to do this next week. We're not going to do this next week.
It's just 2 rounds, right?
Well, you have quarters, both quarter matches, both semis matches, and then the finals match. So it's 3 matches.
Oh.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That end of the bracket. So normally we would have this conclusion next week, a week after the last week of the event. Next week's Thanksgiving, and all of us in America will go get fat on food and pretend to be thankful about something. So we're going to actually have that stream the following week after that. So we're going to give our players, after we announce top 8, 2 weeks to get their quarter matches in, given the holiday. And we'll return 2 weeks from this coming Thursday, I believe. Check the Discord for those exact details. But we will have the conclusion of our league then. We will go ahead and get the last invitational spot for our invitational, which will then happen like a week after that or something. So
I don't think we have a date for it. The last couple times we've done it, it's been the first Saturday in December.
Yep.
I think that might end up conflicting with when we're concluding this league. Not sure.
It's real close.
We'll see, but this is the final spot in our invitational. I think we're going to try to stream that this year, Rob. Rob's going to try to stream it. I don't do anything.
Yes. So there are very strong tentative plans. I need to settle some logistics. First of which are confirming a place I have lined up to rent some equipment from actually has the equipment I need.
Oh wow.
Wow. So that way we can hear each other the way that we all deserve to be heard. And then I just need to potentially build a few things so that way, we can actually see our players play. We are blessed that the webcam league, everyone has a camera to present themselves. That is a requirement for playing the league. So I get to just, steal those camera feeds and it's easy. Going to a spot, I have to bring all that there and set that up in a way that works. And so we have, I believe, all the pieces of the puzzle. We just have to put the puzzle together. Make sure it looks like a stream we can be proud of. But I'm hoping to record that and send that to you. So things you can do to participate if you are not in that invitational, but you still want to have a positive influence. Go through our YouTube content of our past videos and tell me the favorite matches you want to see replays for. Because I'm going to pull from our past content. We've got like 35 videos. We've got plenty of content for a day.
We've started to have quite a library. We actually have a bunch
go
of stuff
ahead.
From the first invitational up there too.
Yes.
Where we have Sam Craven from Houston, who had like the losingest record out of anyone who played in our events, complaining that we're not playing fast enough. So that's fun to watch.
I don't know if we have those videos. I'll have to go find the first league.
They're still there. I watch them all the time. I gotta pat myself on the back.
Then absolutely, yes, those will be great. Oh yeah. No, I think what you're talking about. So yes, we can grab some of those. I found actually the a semis and the finals match of our first old school event. That got recorded, so you can see me battling in the finals against Stu. 2 unpowered old school decks battle for the glory. That's a fun highlight I'm going to throw in there. But yeah, so if you guys have some favorites, or if you just want to see yourself on repeat on the weekend as we go just tell us what videos you want us to go through. I don't have time to go through all of them myself, so I'm going to crowdsource this. Let me know, and I'll do my best to make sure those matches get in there when we need to fill time. So, yeah, so the Invitational is going to be great. I'm going to try to make it streamable. We will be streaming Vintage and Middle School, I believe. So it'll be kind of good all around. It's going to be a fun day. A fun day. Chat, there is a link in chat. Yeah, click on that link, follow it, check it out. If you want to win a spot in our Invitational, you can do so by either winning one of our middle school leagues or by winning a vintage event that we hold, or by getting second place and having your first place competitor already have a spot. So that is a common way some of us do it, because we do have some ringers in our leagues and our events. So either way, participate, have fun. If I can qualify, so can you. I've qualified 2 out of 3 years, I think. Yeah. So I won't be there this Invitational. I'll be there streaming on purpose. So, but it's gonna be fun. Hope to see you guys there on stream or there at the Invitational, just kind of rooting us on or playing. Either way, it'll be fun. I think that's going to do it for our stream tonight. Stay tuned to the Discord for our top 8 announcement. When all the games have finished this week, we will announce the top 8. And then we will share those deck lists as well, so you get to see what our top 8 competitors are playing. Always fun to see. Then we'll have a 2-week period to see who wins all the marbles.
All right.
It'll be fun. Cool. Alrighty, well, thanks everyone for participating in our stream. We loved having you here. As always, participate in our Discord. That's where you're gonna get all the updates for anything new that is happening. But that's gonna do it. Good night, everybody.
Bye.